me to do this.
All right. Hey everyone, it's me, the one and only Guirk Skywalker. Today I have a special guest with me. This is my friend Condor Gaming. Hey, he is going to be finishing bag 2 because, well, the X-Wing is basically done. So he's going to finish this part because this was a little bit difficult for me. As you guys know, as I said in other videos, and I will say in other videos, I'm not the best when it comes to building certain Legos. So basically it's just going to focus on him. He's going to take away, he's going to finish bag 2. We're going to put it all together and we're going to end things off. And we're going to start the editing process because, woo, it's going to be a little bit, but it'll be all right. All right, Connor, yeah, take it away, man.
All right. Sounds good.
And then we'll just keep you guys entertained by talking about Lego stuff and all kinds of other things. Keep it interesting, you know, keep it fresh. So I'm just going to man the camera.
Oh, I see it started to build.
Yeah, that part was fine, but then after that, it's just like, you gotta keep adding on. It's just like, then my brain just starts hurting. It's like, big things, they hurt.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It does get to be a lot.
It does.
Adds up. Adds up.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been into, I don't know if I told you this, Connor, but Lego Star Wars was how I got into Star Wars in general because of Lego Star Wars 2 on the GameCube.
Gotcha.
And then I told them about how I first watched Star Wars was because I went to family video with my dad on a Friday after school. And the guy said, listen, if you're gonna start watching Star Wars, you gotta watch the original trilogy first. So he got A New Hope out and we popped it in when we got home, and I'll never forget it. And then the next day, I had to go with my mom because I was like 7 and it was a Saturday, she had to go shopping. I picked up Empire Strikes Back. I begged her to let me get Empire Strikes Back, and then she got it for me. And 2 months later, she was so invested, then she bought me Return of the Jedi. And then the rest is history from there, so.
Rest is history, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I eventually, from Lego Star Wars, when Complete Saga came out, it's funny because I thought Han Solo was a Jedi, and that was the funniest thing I think ever.
Obi-Wan and then Han Solo kind of look alike in Lego form, huh?
Yeah, the young Episode 1 Obi-Wan looks like Han Solo, just with the face.
Just a little.
Just a tiny bit.
It's the hair in the face that gets me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least from the older ones. Now with the newer models of Han Solo, it's easier to distinguish them because now Obi-Wan looks like what Han Solo used to look like, and Han Solo has like a much, like, his hair's more like spiked up and stuff like that now.
Oh, for
with
sure.
the new Lego piece, which definitely helps. Helps you not be confused.
That center part.
Yeah.
What you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, man.
So you've been working on any good games lately, Condor?
Been replaying Breath of the Wild. I know it's not really Star Wars, but
That's still a good game, dude.
it's a good one.
That game is hard though. That game can
It
be
is.
very brutal.
Very difficult.
I'll move this in just a little bit more.
Sure thing, sure thing.
All right, there we go. Perfect.
And I remember when I put this thing together, this bag 2 or this portion of bag 2 really tripped me up a bit too. So
Yeah.
just gets kind of.
It can be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Now this man also built the, how many pieces? 7,000 piece Millennium Falcon?
7,500.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking insane.
That was a fun build.
Yeah, then it was the only part I think for you that was stressful because you moved and you had to move that, and that was, dude, if I had dropped that thing, I would have probably just collapsed and cried. That's so awful.
In the grand scheme of things, I probably should have waited to do the build because that was a pain in the ass to move. But
oh yeah, no, I don't blame you on that part.
I had my sister. Well, I threw the thing in the back of my car, and I just had Melina in the back, or my sister in the back of the trunk, just making sure it didn't move. So
Yeah.
She helped me out. So thanks, Melina.
Shout out to Condor's sister, who may or may not watch this video.
Yeah.
What's probably going to happen is this is going to be, once we edit it together, it'll be parts 1 and 2. This is technically part 2. So here's the thing, guys. I filmed out of order because I'm like, if I can at least get this done, that way we're not having to do it. So I'm not having to build it, so we can just move on to the editing process as soon as this is over. So part 1, 3, and 4, I've already finished. The final part will also be finished today, which is after this, we're going to be putting it together. Finally, the X-Wing is going to go together, and parts 1 and 2 will premiere one day, and then parts 3, 4, and the finale will all be edited together, and they'll film. So I guess technically it'll be part 1 and 2 will become part 1, and then parts 3, 4, and 5 will become part 2, and they'll both premiere on different days.
You're pulling a George Lucas. You're doing it all.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Film the movies out of order. Yeah, there you go.
True to the man himself.
Yeah.
True to the man.
Yeah, I think it's interesting with George Lucas is people don't give him a lot of credit, and granted, I know he made. I mean, look, I love his 6 Star Wars films. Both you and I both love his 6 Star Wars films.
Yeah.
I won't get into the other 3, but because my audience already knows how I feel about the Disney sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna respectfully say it. But I'm very blunt. I'm a lot more blunt at that. But anyway, no. What's interesting about George Lucas is he was always like, I would never like starting a story in the beginning. I like starting in the middle and then going back and explaining that. He finds that fun. And he had the balls to also produce films that Hollywood or demographics would say we're not gonna, pull an audience. And he actually did. Like, it was interesting. It was when he talked about Disney being white slavers. It was that interview, and he said, "Listen, I funded Red Tails. If you know what Red Tails is."
Yeah.
It's a World War II movie with they were a Tuskegee Airmen. They were all African American, and they fought in World War II, and they fought mainly around Italy. I believe around the Italy countryside, a bunch of other places too, but. The Hollywood studios told him there's not a demographic for this. No one's gonna go see an all, African American cast. They're not gonna see that. And George's like, well, I'm still gonna produce it. He produced it. Now, granted, it did not do well with critics or audience, but it still made a decent amount of money. It still pulled people's attention, and it's considered today a great, tribute to the Tuskegee Airmen. Nice. And George also never cared about the prequels and stuff. He's like, listen, you just gotta be willing to you say, I don't care. Like George, I don't care what the prequel backlash or whatever the feedback. Like, listen, if it wasn't for you, hey, that's fine. But if the people that did enjoy it, I got a lot of people that did enjoy it, and so he's just like, if I can entertain people, that's at least a handful of people, then I've done what I've set out to do. So mm-hmm. I respect him for those things because he doesn't let that deter him.
At the end of the day, he's a director. That's his role. That's what he wants
to
do. He's a storyteller.
He's a visionary storyteller. Mm-hmm. The other reason why he sold Lucasfilm to Disney was when he was making these experimental films that there was considered to not be an audience for or a demographic for. He said, well, eventually I didn't want to pull the company because I had people to think about. I had 2,000 employees at that time, so that's why I wanted to sell it and protect it. So that's why that's another reason why he sold Disney, because he didn't want his company going, under the water because, he had people to think about. So I respect him in that regard for that. But then, of course, we know Disney's kind of had a mixed bag with Star Wars. They've had some good movies, or they've had some good stuff, and other stuff not so much. But hey, they're just trying. They're still. I think right now, some guy on YouTube even said it best. Star Wars is trying to find its identity, like what it is at this point in it, what it means. It means different things to different people, but it's trying to find out its identity. But yeah, other than that, I think George Lucas does not get enough credit for what he actually did for the film industry with his films and all the stuff that he created.
Mm-hmm. Well said. For a minute there, I thought I lost one.
Oh my!
It was in one of the spare bags there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could tell. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, I had no idea. There's like this orange piece. I had no idea where this orange piece was supposed to go. I'm assuming
that's for separating. So say that. I don't know if you saw that, but I put two
on there. Yeah.
2 flat pieces there.
Mm-hmm.
In the orange thing. It's a brick separator. So what you do, have it like that.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
Oh, okay. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So
yeah,
save your fingernails when you don't have any.
Yeah, dude, I had literally my fingernails were destroyed by the end of parts 3 and 4.
Yes,
I'm not even lying; they were actually destroyed.
Oh yeah, your fingers start to get.
Because I was pulling off those little pieces, and those hurt so bad.
Yeah. So that's what it's for. It's meant to save your hands a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm. One other tip of advice I can give guys if you're planning on doing Lego videos and stuff like that, number 1, have a better shot than I did, because some of the shots you're not. Again, some of it I know for the future. It's like, hey, look, I was watching some other videos of how to do it. This is the kind of shot I want to have, except eventually it'll be better where it's zoomed in on our hands, like on either my hands or whoever's building, and it's focused heavily on the Lego pieces, not so much from the side, because originally, here was the original shot, Condor. It was like this. The camera was either over here or over there. Yeah, and it wasn't the best because you kind of get pulled out of the thing. So that's the thing I learned while doing this project is have a good angle, have an actual good angle. Don't just like do what you feel is best, because you need to make sure you get the main focus of the attention, which is you building the Lego set.
Mm-hmm.
So
most builds that I've seen, it's like a shot down, or it's like a aerial view, so to say, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like above shot.
Right.
Do you want to do the stickers? Do you want me to?
You can go ahead and do them since this is your part of the thing.
Sure.
I did these stickers though for that, and that was probably surprisingly, those went well, surprisingly.
Slide.
Yeah,
fine.
It's like it doesn't even want to lay on the thing.
It's all good. I'll be thrown together here shortly.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah. I think the other interesting thing though about building Legos, other thing I would recommend guys is just as a safety tip, always wear like socks or shoes or whatever you want to do for that, because if you step on Legos, that's a death sentence pretty much for your feet. Like,
I was so confused where you were taking that. I was like, socks and shoes. Huh? So
because I stepped on multiple Legos.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't die, but man, that did not feel good.
You wish for it. You wish for death.
You do wish for death. The worst thing is when you run and then you step on like multiple, like the pointy ones. Oof. That's the worst feeling ever.
That hurts.
Yeah.
Pain. True pain.
Yeah. And then other than that, we were playing Rainbow Six Siege last night, and we played the new game mode, Containment. I'll just say it. It's not even fair. Sky and I, our other friend, Lord MM Quispy, as he is referred to, Lord MM Quispy, I'm going to leave it at that. He basically said the best, it's not even fair, like, for the attackers, because the defenders have, in this game mode, they have 650 health. You have to get so many bullets into them, and I even tested it with the headshot. Yeah, unless you get like a clean headshot, it doesn't even matter. You're not going to kill them automatically, because it's like taking on basically a mutant, essentially. It's like a zombie from Call of Duty, but on drugs. Are they
aliens or are they zombies? Or is it
they're
like a combination of
they're kind of like a nuclear, like they were basically like a nuclear biohazard, essentially. I don't really know the lore exactly, but I think they're more of a zombie that was accidentally created through nuclear stuff. Like in the original game mode for Extraction, which had Tachanka whenever he first, got his new set, like his new body and like the Lord Boyer outfit. Like he's the only one who knew about the Soviet Union, because it started from a Soviet Union nuke from the Cold War going off, and it created these zombie-like creatures.
Because like when we were playing, like I got a lot of like I guess alien vibes from it, but like zombie for sure.
It's kind of like a hybrid, honestly, but I think they're more like zombies in the sense, because the game mode's more like fighting zombies. Think of Left 4 Dead. Those games, they have like zombies that look very similar, or at least they have bigger versions of zombies that look similar to these zombies in Rainbow Six Siege, these types of alien-like zombies. But I don't think they're aliens, because I think they have alien-like characteristics, obviously, because they have the nests, which is very reminiscent of Alien. Yeah. That what?
The nightmare hands.
Oh yeah, oh man, those freaking long hands, those long fingers.
Just creepy. They're just moving.
Yeah,
creepy.
Yeah. I don't know what I would be more afraid of. I'd probably be more afraid of zombies.
Yeah.
Because with aliens, it's like, that's kind of a once in a lifetime thing. But not that I want to meet either. I'm just saying, if I had to pick my poison, I'd probably rather meet an alien than a zombie. Because at least with an alien, I could probably, maybe, depending on the alien, have a communication before I get.
I thought you were gonna say like a connection, like
no, it's because zombies, there's no connection. They're just,
I will love you.
And the zombies just like, or whatever noise it makes. before it tries to eat my flesh.
Freaking zombie noises from COD.
Dude, I learned it the hard way as a kid. I played Black Ops 2 in the dark at 13.
Oh my, why?
Yeah,
why would you do that to yourself?
Because I thought I could do it, and I was trying to be brave, and then
It's not even a horror game, it's just...
I thought I'd be brave,
zombies.
and it got me.
Oh, Kurt, no.
There's this guy on TikTok who's playing this horror game, and it's like Dobby's like, you know who Dobby is from Harry Potter?
Yeah.
He's the house elf, and he's like the horror villain, and the guy, he's like, where are you at, Dobby? And then he just screams so loud because Dobby attacks him, and he goes, Dobby, no! It was the funniest thing ever.
Dobby, no.
Yeah.
What?
I think it was sad though, because if you're speaking of horror games, the guy that made Five Nights at Freddy's like is done because he got attacked for being.
I think like he was supporting like anti-gay something. I'm not sure.
They were saying he was supporting like, well, he's a Christian, so
Scott Cawthon's a Christian, really?
Yeah, he's a Christian.
No.
So they didn't like that because they assumed that he was doing this and that. But it's like, listen, whoever's in my community, he just said, I don't hate anyone in my community. I don't care, what your background is. I don't care about, any of your, gender orientation, your sexual orientation. He doesn't care about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, but I think it'd be best if I step aside because people are asking for that. So I'm gonna, do it. And I think it's best to protect my family because he had attacks on his pregnant wife. Like they were threatening to kill him and his wife. So I don't blame him for stepping aside because like that's where you have to decide. Do you want to,
I mean, I'm sure he wasn't like. I mean, it's just not cool. But like, it's just.
Yeah.
Obviously, people aren't happy with you. So at that point, what's the point in even sticking around?
Exactly.
I get that.
Exactly.
I understand.
I'd rather protect my family than have to deal with that.
And put up with other people's crap too.
Mm-hmm. All right. So bag 2 is basically done. Oops, shoot. Let me get the thing going here. Hold on, let me zoom out. All right. Yeah, bag 2. Yep, got it.
Almost.
Bag 2 is done.
Almost.
Basically, just about done. This would have taken me like 3 hours to do. The rest of it I think only took like about an hour and a half. The longest it took me to do the first 2 wings because I didn't have like my full grasp of it, was it only took me about 2 hours, but then this last wing only took me like an hour and 50 minutes. So I was like, oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad at all, Kirk.
Yeah.
Shit out.
Yep, no, you're good. Take your time.
Look at that.
There we go.
Get that sick action there.
Yep, it's looking great.
Look at
Looking
that.
great.
Sick clip on action. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It'll be great whenever we finally put Luke and R2 inside and then it's complete.
Explosion sounds good.
Yeah. Power Rangers?
What?
What is it, Power Rangers or is it Michael Bay Transformers? Which one are we going with? Which explosions? Because there's a way for that. I think honestly, I think Michael Bay probably wins in explosions, but Power Rangers wins in silliness.
He is king of explosions.
It's like literally just a Power Ranger just slashes somebody, and then they just explode, and it's like, oh, like the fakest thing ever, but it's so funny. My parents, when I was little, like all my friends were into Power Rangers, and my parents wouldn't let me watch it because they thought I would be afraid of it. So I never really got to grow up with it. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I would say I was definitely a fearful kid. I was definitely a fearful child. I definitely had a lot of fears, and I definitely, had a lot of nightmares and stuff like that. But I wasn't. I thought it was cool, but maybe it would have freaked me out. I mean, some of them are kind of creepy. Some of like the I guess they're aliens. I don't really know. I think they're aliens. I guess some of the aliens and monsters were kind of like scary, so I probably would have freaked me out. But I thought I could do it. But
creepy looking there.
Yeah.
Never weird.
Yeah. There was like there's been like multiple reboots of the show of like the Power Rangers, different like generations, I guess, essentially what they're called.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple
recently.
What's that?
I guess not recently.
It was a couple years ago. They had a movie. Yeah.
So.
All right.
At the sides time.
Yep. All
do you
right.
want to do the honors of putting the wings on?
All right. We are gonna end this part out. This is the end of part 2. When you guys see this next, it will be fully put together. So we're gonna do that off screen, and because it'll just be easier, and then we'll end it off here and make the update video and go from there. Figure it out from there because I know what we have to do then. All right, guys. This is the end of this part. See you when this X-wing is fully put together.